I know that you said like you feel like you've been persecuted and stuff, and like I understand what it's like to be a minority too, because like I've lived in a country that's like 99.995% Islamic, so like I understand, and like I apologize if you feel like you've been hurt in any way, because that's not what we want to do. And like if you have any questions, or I'm interested in what you have to say too, like come talk to me if you know where I am. But yeah, like seriously, I just really apologize if you feel like you've been hurt in any way, because that's not what we want to do. And
oh yeah, I realize that the experiences that I've had have been on the minority side of Christianity, and that's not how Christianity is supposed to be represented. I'm aware of that. I think that's what made me so angry about it. It's like, you're trying to recruit me to a religion, but you're not doing it the way your religion says you're supposed to, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
so,
that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I understood that, so, but I appreciate it.
Well, sure, yeah. So, that's basically what I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're taking the time to come out here today.
No problem.
So knowing that Barry was rich in Christian tradition, what made you come?
I love Barry. I love the atmosphere. I love that most students are very open-minded. You know, I have met very, very, very few students that are, you know, feeling the need to convert every 5 seconds. You know, when we're together, it's like, have you talked about Jesus today? You know, there's like very few students do that to me.
I don't think it's really addressed in the other videos, but what do you think about Jesus? Like, who do you think Jesus is, or did? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, most definitely. I didn't know if you were going to elaborate on it. No, I believe he was a prophet. I believe he was a real person. You know, I don't have any problem with that. I believe that he was an amazing teacher, that he did a lot of things for his people. He liberated a lot of people. He gave a lot of people hope that wouldn't have ordinarily have had it. I just don't believe that he was a spiritual being. You know, I don't believe that he was something, you know, extraordinary, that he was more than a man.
Right.
You know, and that, you know, that's pretty much it, so.
Yeah, well, you understand, because I mean, like, even the Bible says, like, that God has to open your mind in order for you to believe, because it seems really strange, like some of the things that you read, so I understand how sometimes it doesn't make sense.
Something that we talked about in the studio when we were in here was that, like with the one guy, you got in your face and you know yelled about hell, things like that. It's difficult to talk to somebody sometimes about hell and like about what is really there, and so maybe and you can just kind of interject when you want to, but just thinking about that, like you know, I more or less understand the idea of interconnectedness, things like that. Study a little bit about it, so by no means do I know what it all entails, but I don't understand what happens after death. Like life is just short. We got one shot, you know, and that's it. Like what happens after death? Do you want to?
Yeah, that's fine. It depends kind of on what sect you go with as far as paganism goes. But there are two general divisions. One is it's called the Summerlands, and it's basically heaven, but it's not a worship base. You know, you don't go and just worship all day long. You know, the Summerlands is basically just a place where you are finally 100% connected with nature, and but you're still in your own form. And the second division of that is that you literally every part of you becomes part of nature. That, you know, I don't want to say atoms, but I guess that's the best way to describe it, is that all of your atoms disperse, and that you are part of new beings that come into being, maybe an animal, maybe a person, maybe plants, you know, but you are part of nature 100% and wholly, finally. And that is the ultimate achievement for a pagan, is to be part of what you have been worshiping your entire life.
Right. Now, what, like, does there, because I know, I mean, I can't just like, oh, well, heaven exists, here it is, you know, I can't prove to you that. But what truth is, like, how do you know that's true? You know?
I guess you really can't. I mean, I guess it's a paganism as much as a faith-based religion as anything. You know, I mean, I can't point to something and say, "Yep, this is heaven." You know, it's like door number one. Yeah.
Right.
But I guess some people would argue that the people that go with the Summerlands, they would argue that they can prove it by connecting with people that are already beyond on Eve's, like
Right.
All Hallows Eve and stuff, because we believe that the reason that that day is holy to us is that the veil is considered to be very thin between the two worlds at that time, and that you can connect with people that are there. And a lot of people would use that as proof to themselves that, okay, those people are there and I can connect with them on that time. So that would be some people's rationalization. So.
So is there a different like spiritual realm?
Yes.
So there's like the carnal world and the spiritual realm.
Yeah, and that is the time of year for us that the veil becomes the thinnest, is how we put it, and that they can potentially come here, and that we can connect with them there.
So that's on Halloween.
Yeah. Well, for you guys, it's a little bit of a different date, isn't it? Yeah. But it's Halloween for you guys.
Yeah, I guess and we talked a little bit about this in our section, was the idea that, like you mentioned, that it's basically worshiping creation, right? And I think that's a thing where, how do you, because I guess you view divinity as in all, but what, like, do you have like a creator? Like, did something create the creation? Did it create itself? Like,
yes, there are, again, it's the sect thing. There's one that is strictly goddess worship, and goddess worship is, the mother goddess, and she is the creator. And there's another sect that is goddess, and I guess the easiest way to define him would be called the Green Man. And they both go through 3 stages of life, and that's the parts of the year that you worship. And so it just depends on which one you go with. But yeah, either way, there is a creator involved.
Okay. Now, so then I guess my thing is, because I look at it, and there's a passage in Romans that talks about how, and I feel like I've done this a lot in my life, but it says that they exchanged worshiping the creator, or they exchanged worship for the created rather than the creator. And I find myself, a lot of times, I do that. I look to the things of this world, and not necessarily nature, but I look to the things of this world to bring satisfaction, to bring joy, fulfillment, all those things. But I figured that, or I find out that I mixed it up, and I shouldn't have been worshiping those. And basically, I want to outright say, oh, well, I'm worshiping my movie collection. We missed it. We missed the point. And I guess this is where it gets hard, because, I'm basically saying to you, oh, hey, you're missing the point. Like, you should be worshiping God, and, but I guess how do you feel about that? Like, if something did create all of us, and put us down here on this earth, and we're worshiping the things that He made, then are we not missing the point?
Now, are you talking about, do I think you guys are, or in me?
In you,
okay.
personally.
Well, worshiping nature, to us, I guess to understand that, you really have to get into the idea that for us, nature and the divine are interchangeable. Nature is the divine is within nature, and when you worship nature, you are worshiping the divine.
Right.
I guess the only way really to equate it would be, not even that, I don't know, I get the closest way, but it's not completely accurate, is, you guys have, and in a lot of churches you have paintings of Jesus or idols of Jesus. It's kind of the same. You go there, you view this, it makes you think of your divine, it makes you think of when worshiping. It's almost the same, but go another level up. It's like Jesus can be within the idol. And that's where you're going with that, is that for us, worshiping nature is worshiping the divine. It's like you guys going to church. We go outside. And that's the equating. That's the only way I can figure out how to equate it.